and thank you for all speakers for their lectures. Let me invite you for the short discussion. We still have a time. For the podium, all speakers, please. And we have a time for discussion. Do we have any questions from the audience? If not, may I ask, we have some measures for the preventing us from air pollution. We have an application, as you mentioned. We may choose the day or time when we are going out, or place where we're going out. We have also possibility to protect us from the light pollution or insufficient light by lightning, as we heard yesterday. Do we have any measures to prevent us from the plastic? Is it too late already?
There is no protection because we are living in plastics. So to be protected, even partially, we should take out the plastics, which is not a possibility. Let's say, this morning you have taken, as I took, the shower. The shampoo is in a plastics box, and the plastics box is inside the micro nanoplastics. So this morning we have shower with micro nanoplastics, and maybe you, but also the other woman, has used cream face, which are also with the micro nanoplastics. And I and all of us maybe have a better breakfast with tea. Beck's tea are largely producing micro nanoplastics when are infused in the water, or used milk, which is in the blocks or in plastic bottles. How do you protect? You can decrease the load, but since we don't know right now, because we are just in the beginning of the study, how much macro nanoplastic we take in, we assume, with inhalations. Let's say yesterday I saw that Cracovia has a very important number of cars for 1,000 people. You know that the car release macro nanoplastics because each time that tire break, release micro nanoplastics. So you avoid shampoo and you take inhalation with the micro nanoplastics in the air. So that's the reason why I say protect. Protect is a very heavy word that right now is difficult to really realize.
Yeah, but I can discuss with you, but I agree with you that it's not possible to make it disappear, but there are initiatives, for example, now in some countries they forbid all the plastic bags, for example, that people throw everywhere. Yeah, and they would like to do that in Switzerland. But in the US for a long time they have paper bags rather than plastic bags. You can also develop public transportations rather than cars, and I mean these are also political issues and all the things.
You understand? You agree with me that it's a very long way.
Oh yeah, of course, it's not an easy way. No, this I totally agree. But we cannot. You see, the problem that we have with politicians and a lot of people in the population is because it's long, we do nothing. And that's what we have to fight, because, you know, I mean, saying that, well, because it's difficult, we just report it and blah, 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 will never do anything. And I think we have to start doing on our own a lot. That's what would have been my message, you know. For example, in our family, we go shopping, we refuse all things which are in plastics. Okay, you can buy vegetables from the market, blah, 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 without plastic. I mean, it's possible. It demands a huge effort. It's maybe more expensive than the plastic things which you have in the big shops, but you can do it, and you should start doing these kind of things, I think. But we should be conscious. It will take 20 years. We'll probably be dead by that time.
Of course.
But it's also
by
the plastic. But it's for our children. You know, that I think is the point.
I have some comment. because we are really very happy that microplastic is in a switch. And what with the medicaments? The preparation of capsules and tablets need microplastic. Who know if it is safe plastic? The next are, for example, the plastic platforms for the drug in the implantable stents, biodegradable. Also, the question is, it is safe, really? So I completely agree with Professor Poli, so we cannot stop that.
Again, I'm not absolutely convinced. Professor Kardas in Lodz is doing now with the cost actions, they're doing a big programs on, you know, the way we keep drugs, especially in blisters and things like that. Blisters are just, you know, aluminum and plastics. It's supposed to be safe because that's what and it's for a kind of security. But in US, they use boxes, which are plastic boxes, but we can probably have that. But in UK also, and we don't throw tons of aluminum every day, you know, because these blisters, sometimes they are empty of drugs, sometimes there's still all the drugs inside because people are non-adherents, and we throw a lot of these just in the waste. There is no recuperation. So people say now, what we should do, probably, is that after 1 month or 6 months, when you use your drugs in blister and your blister are empty, you should bring them back to the pharmacy and say, you gave me this, take care of it, recycle it, it's your job, you know? I mean, they give us all the responsibility to handle all these pollutants, and of course what we do is just throw it. And what we do now is say, no, stop it. I mean, all these bottle, you know, the bottle in PET, in Switzerland, people just bring them back to the shops. They can handle it, not us. This is civilian reactions. I don't know if you want to comment.
This is a very good fuel.
Yeah.
Because plastic has a very high heating value. So for incineration, it's very good fuel. So, but the problem is the contamination, but we have a cleaning system. So the question is how effective the cleaning system is. And the question is how expensive it is, because the economy rules. So as long as it will be cheaper to buy plastics than glass, we will use cheaper stuff.
I have one question to Giuseppe.
I
Congratulations.
am not expert in this.
Congratulations not only for excellent talk, but also for the design and continuing the study. I have the question, based on your experience, do you have evidence about the presence and distribution of microplastic in the kidney?
I personally have no evidence, I have no experience, but there are plenty of data showing that even kidney is contaminated by macronanoplastics. There is no organs, no cells which are not contaminated. So why not? Why not? Unfortunately, of course.
Thank you.
I had one question for you. You had two groups.
Yeah.
One group said no.
No. The problem is not where they come, but the problem is they have not understood why the others was without.
Yeah. Why were they without?
And we don't know that. But this is the point that we try to analyze and to understand. Maybe there is some different clearance. Maybe should be something which is different in the amount of macronanoplastics in the blood concentration of macronanoplastics, which could make difference in the plaques, because we are not talking about body micronanoplastic concentration. We are just talking about plaque. So it's a specific site in which a group of patients were practically devoided. Practically devoided means that were not determined. which does not mean does not exist. Is a limit of determination which could be improved in order to see if really this group of patients was devoid at plaque level of micro nanoplastics.
I'm afraid I've got two questions, one of which is on the nanoplastics. So the nanoplastics in macrophages, are they behaving similarly or differently from, say, black carbon in macrophages? And the second question is about the treatment of the sludge. So you talked about carbon dioxide production, and I know that burning plastics is a contributor to carbon dioxide. So I was wondering about the climate change gas problems by using these sort of using heat treatments for for plastics and nanoplastics.
The first problems, I believe, is more than 100 times they've asked me these questions. That's the problem is the macrophages were a cell that have taken up the micro nanoplastics in the plaques, or were the shuttle who bring as a monocyte the micro nanoplastic in the plaque. We don't know that. We just find out that we've had a macrophage, living macrophage in the plaque with the micro nanoplastic contaminations. But it could be that some monocytes are taking up along the pathway in the bloodstream the micro nanoplastic and then stop, became macrophage at the plaque levels. And the second question was for the other.
I don't know if I understood well, but the microplastic, in fact, they broke if the temperature is high. So usually it's above 350. If we have the pressurized reactor, this is not only temperature, but this is also pressure. And this pressure make the bonds in the microplastic broken. So the material is changed, probably is degraded, and we have some nanoplastic we cannot detect. Yeah? So I think, unfortunately, that everything is in the system still, but the question is of the very precise detection. And the microplastic is a topic which everybody talk, let's say, there are no rules, because there are, yes, newborn, there are no restrictions. Yeah, yes, but the question of restrictions, for example, for sewage sludge, because there are no effective, cheap method to detect. We have thousands of repeatable, sensitive. So as long as we do not have the effective method, I don't think it will be easy to impose some rules on wastewater, on industry. Yeah? Gas production is like 1%, 1-5%. This is mainly CO2 and nitrogen, so this is not the problem in this system. But if the microplastic will be broken and there are some gas from this, it will still be some hydrocarbons, but very small amount. So we can deal with this. This is not the problem.
Yes, May can add something just to provide further insight on those problems. What I normally say is that after our paper on New England Journal of Medicine, we have just shed a light in a black room in which nothing was understood or seen, if you prefer. So, day by day, months by months, throughout the world, the researchers try to see what is inside the black room. And of course, this is a progression in the knowledge which will happen step by step, but we still stay at the beginning of knowledge. So one problem that should be, let's say, better understood and focalized, that I said yesterday to give to the attention of the audience this kind of problems. Our study was made with relative small sample size. And you cannot derive any epidemiological information or final knowledge with such kind of study design, which is an association study, but it's not possible to perform a cause-effect study. And of course, you should perform a study in a very huge, large population according to race and so on, population, geographic distribution. What is the problems, as also we said, is that if you want to understand the relationship between atherosclerosis and cardiovascular disease, you are able to measure cholesterol, which is just a drop of blood. If you want to understand diabetes, you make glycemia. If you want to study micronanoplastic, you need at least 10 millimeters of blood, which for each samples need at least 40 hours to be treated. It's impossible to work on 100,000 patients. So unless we do not find anything by which we're able to find out the macroandoplastics as we measure now cholesterol and glycemia, we will we will never be able to draw final conclusions about the relationship between microandoplastics and disease. Sorry.
We are all excited about the microplastics, so I apologize for the other topics. But I also want to ask a question. Of course, your cardiomyocyte data are scaring. Nevertheless, they are in vitro and difficult to compare with terminally differentiated cardiomyocytes in human and in vivo. But I'm thinking about the brain. You know, having microplastic in delicate brain cells, is there any data already? And also the blood-brain barrier, the availability of tight junctions, do they cross? Do we know?
They cross the blood barrier, this is true.
Yeah.
And there was a paper published, I believe this February, on Nature Medicine by New Mexico group, Campen et al., showing that micronanoplastics were not only reached, find out at brain levels, but also presence in patients who die, of course, for neurodegenerative disease. Now, again, they took people with the neurodegenerations, perform autopsy, and they found out micronanoplastics. But it is not clear if they produce any change in neuromodulations. It's not clear if produce change in morphology of cells. It's not clear if produce change in neuron-neuron interactions. So, again, it's published in Nature Medicines, but is still an association study, which is important, of course. But you cannot say, or there are informations or knowledge or conclusions, which is worse, about the relationship between neurodegeneration and neuroplastic presence at the brain level.
Thank you very much, our lecturer and our audience, for the very fruitful discussion. And let me give the microphone to Professor Reiser.
session is the last session of the symposium of the ESH working group. Then we'll have the Krakow Conference of Hypertension in Polish. So then I try to summarize the symposium planning and organizing this symposium with organizing committee, Professor Wojciechowska. We would like to have the symposium which will be multidisciplinary and a good university level. And the level of the symposium definitely exceed my expectations, and this is thanks of you. So I would like once more thank all invited lecturers for excellent lectures, and I would like also thank for the discussion. I hope this conference was inspiring and fruitful and interesting for everyone participant. Thank you once more. Thank you.